Are you wondering if you're actually qualified to take the PMP or what are the requirements for it? And are you wondering what are the steps even if you qualify for it? In this video, I'm going to be going through that. I'm going to be telling you the detailed requirements that you need to have in order to be qualified and what are the detailed steps needed to become certified, because it's not straightforward as just showing up, taking an exam and you're certified. In fact, it has quite a lot of steps. So before we get started, I'm Andrew Ramdial. I am the lead instructor here at the Technical Institute of America for the PMP exam. Now, I am the author of this book, PMP Exam Prep Simplified. This book is Amazon's bestseller for the PMP and exam, and combined with my e-learning courses and my live classes, I've helped hundreds of thousands of people pass their PMP exam on the first try. Our courseware is second to none. Let's get started. So the first thing up is you have to understand that the PMP exam was made by the Project Management Institute, or I should say is made by the Project Management Institute, or PMI. So you can hear me use that acronym a lot. The requirements that I'm about to show you, I got it right off of their website. Let's take a look at what they are. So the first thing up I want to talk about is what are the requirements. Now take a look at this. In here I have two sets of requirements. I have one with a 4-year degree and one with a high school diploma or associate degree. Now, do you qualify to take the PMP? Well, you have to fall into one of these two categories. Let's take a look at the first one. If you have a 4-year degree, now when they say 4-year degree, it doesn't technically have to be a 4-year degree. It just has to be a bachelor's degree. If you completed your bachelor's degree in maybe 3 years or 2 years, it's fine. As long as it's a bachelor's degree and above. So if you have a master's degree or a PhD, you're in this category. If you have that bachelor's degree, you're going to need to show 36 months of experience. Now, I do want to point out that that 36 months of experience has to be within the last 8 years. So you can go back 8 years from the time of watching this video. So 8 years, within the last 8 years, you have to show me 36 months of actual experience. Now, when we say experience, what are we talking about? Well, notice it says lead-in projects. Lead-in projects entails leading the entire, so you were the project manager for the entire project. You could have just been a team lead leading a certain section of the projects on larger projects. You don't necessarily have to have the title of a project manager, as most of us don't. I've been leading projects for the last 20 years and I've never really had that title. A lot of us don't have the title, but we have the role. What they're really asking for is the role, not necessarily the title. So remember that. So you could be leading the entire thing or a part of the project, that counts. And you also need a 35 hours of project management education. Notice this 35 hours is here and here. Now the course here at the Technical Institute of America is that 35 hours of education that you're going to need in order to meet these requirements. So once again, 4-year degree, 3 years of experience, or about 36 months within the last 8 years. And of course, the 35-hour course. By the way, this 36 months doesn't have to be consecutive. It could be from last year, then maybe you had one project last year and one from 3 years ago and one from 4 years ago. They don't have to be consecutive. They don't have to be at the same company. Next category now. If you don't have a 4-year degree, you have something under that. Maybe you have a high school diploma, associate degree, general equivalent diploma, or GED. You fall into this category. In this category here, what you have to do is you have to show 60 months of experience within the last 8 years. Same thing, it doesn't have to be consecutive. And of course, you have to show that 35 hours. Once again, the course here counts for that. So this is going to be the requirements. And if you're not too sure if you actually qualify or if the work you did, give us a call. One of the folks here, including me, sometimes I answer the phone. I can actually help you out and see, do you actually qualify for that? Now, the next thing I want to take a look at in this video is going to be the steps to becoming certified. PMP is not like the other certifications. I have over 65 certifications in many different IT products. And 99% of the time, all you would do is you would just sign up for the exam, take it, and you move on, right? The PMP has a different thing. The PMP has a whole application that you're going to need to submit in order to pass the actual test. So take a look at this, what I call the PMP process. This is the steps that you're going to have to take. The first thing up you're going to want to do when you want to become PMP certified is you have to start a 35-hour project management class. Again, that's what this course is. Now you're probably saying, why do I have to start the class first? Well, if you remember from the previous thing, you need this 35 hours. Now, there is an application that you have to fill out. You cannot submit the application if you haven't finished the course. A lot of people ask me this, Andrew, can I submit the application? No, you have to finish a 35-hour class in order to submit the PMP application because it's part of the requirement. So maybe right now you have that, You have that 4-year degree. You have your experience, but you don't have this 35 hours yet. So you have to finish this first. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you want to become PMP certified is you're going to want to start a 35-hour class. When you do it with us or any provider, you got to start a class. Although I highly recommend you start ours. So start a 35-hour class. During the class, you want to start applying for your exam. Now, if there's one thing unique here about the Technical Institute of America is that we actually do the application with you during the class, and I will help you step by step doing it. In fact, I taught a class last week where I helped everyone do their application. I will review it with you. There's a giant description you have to write. It's about 200 to 500 words, 100 words. So it's a few hundred words. You have to describe projects in a certain way. I have a whole course set up on this. I have tons of templates that you can use to write those descriptions. Don't let the application bring you down. I'll help you with that. So apply for the exam during the class. When the class comes to an end, you're also going to submit your application. Why? Because during the class, we actually did it together. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to submit that application at the end of the course. Now, PMI, when you submit your application, you have 3 to 5 days of a wait period before they approve it. PMI will look through the application. Generally, within 3 to 5 days, they are going to approve your application. So if your course ends on Friday, expect or Thursday, the following Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, PMI is going to give you an approval to take your exam. Once they give you that, once you submit it and you get that approval, schedule the PMP exam. Scheduling the PMP exam is as simple as going online and just selecting a date. Now, how do you take the exam? The exam can be taken online at the comfort of your home, or you can go to an exam testing center. The method you take the exam is really going to be up to you. I recommend taking it at home. Some people recommend taking it at a testing center. Everybody has different preferences on this. You schedule your exam, you take your PMP exam. If the moment you pass it, you're certified. So this is the entire process. Start a class. While you're doing the class, do your application. Then when the class ends, submit the application when the class ends. Remember, you cannot submit it before because you need to finish the entire 35-hour class. Schedule your PMP exam, take and pass your exam, and you're certified. So this is the general process. So throughout the 35-hour class, guys, I will help you to fill out your application. One thing I always tell people is when you take a PMP class, I always say this, it's not where you take it, but it's who's teaching it. Is the instructor good? What materials are they using? One thing I can tell you about Technical Institute of America, guys, is we have great materials. Not only are we going to use my best-selling study guide, by the way, this comes with the course. You're also going to get my 35-hour e-learning course that you can start studying right away. So when you register, I'm going to send you an e-learning course that you can start studying with right away. It's over 35 hours of content of me covering every single exam objectives in the entire exam, or what's known as the exam content outline. Tons of practice exams are in there. You're also going to get my world famous mindset. So the mindset is something that folks have been using to pass the current PMP exam. It helps narrow down the choices and helps you select the right choice since it's a scenario-based test. The other thing about our class is that it includes a free exam retake. If you don't pass your exam on the first try after taking our class, we'll pay for your exam retake. That's how sure I am you're going to pass. Passing the PMP is not a difficult process, although sometimes the application seems to be. It's not that bad. It's not a difficult process, but it's a process that you have to be dedicated to. Don't think the PMP is an easy test, because it's not. You put in the time and effort, you study the right materials with the right set of trainers, and you're going to pass your exam. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Well, maybe I'll see you in the class.